Kodi Box shock warning. Kodi users to face 10 years in prison under new UK law. A change to the law in the UK could mean thousands will face up to 10 years in prison for using Kodi and other streaming platforms. The UK government's Digital Economy Act has finally received royal assent, meaning anyone caught sharing illegal files in the UK could now be imprisoned for up to 10 years. Until now, the maximum jail term for copyright infringement was 2 years, but this has now been increased to a maximum of 10. Minister of State for Digital and Culture at the Department for Culture, Media and Sport Matt Hancock said, "I'm delighted the Digital Economy Act has become law. This legislation will help build a more connected and stronger economy. The Act will enable major improvements in broadband rollout, better support for consumers, better protection for children on the internet, and further transformation of government services." That's bullshit. It's the big corporate companies worried about losing money. Speaking about devices, such as Kodi, Kieran Sharp, FACT chief executive, said, "Consumers need to be aware that devices that allow you access to premium pay-for-TV channels without a legitimate subscription, or access to films that are not yet available to rent or buy, are illegal. Whilst end users are not a target, they could get swept up in one of our operations and become part of the whole criminal investigation, which could lead to prosecution alongside the suppliers, retailers and importers." Kodi-style boxes which allow users to stream illegal content straight to their TVs have become increasingly popular over the past few years. A recent study by YouGov suggests that over 5 million boxes are already in UK homes, and that number is set to grow at an alarming rate. But Kodi and other streaming services are now coming under increased pressure, with many of the UK's ISPs, government agencies, broadcasters and rights holders joining forces to disrupt the streams being pushed out across the internet. Speaking about the measures being put in place, Mr. Sharp added, "You'll be aware of the Premier League case, which has led to the blocking of streams by ISPs. With these in place, what you'll find is the effectiveness of the add-ons within the boxes is being affected, and there could be more in the way of blocks in the future. Another thing that's really quite important is the legality of accessing the content by the end users, and there's likely to be changes there as well. If you look at the Premier League case, it's clear the judge has stated that accessing those streams is unlawful. We also know the government is consulting on changes in the law around this type of activity. It's high up on their agenda, and I think they realize this is an important issue." Kodi killers. Major UK crackdown will block illegal streams within months. Kodi is under threat as UK government looks to change internet laws with illegal streaming high up on their agenda. Kodi-style boxes which allow users to stream illegal content straight to their TVs have become increasingly popular over the past few years. Polls suggest the problem is getting so big it could pose a serious threat to subscription TV brands such as Amazon, Netflix and Sky. Like I said, big corporations worrying about losing money. In the UK government, money talks, and can't get much bigger than Amazon, Netflix and Sky. Big wealthy corporations like them will get UK laws changed. Kodi software itself is not illegal, and the company behind it are actually trying to distance themselves from pirated content. However, the software can be changed with third-party add-ons, providing access to pirated illegal of content. It's these add-ons which are now being targeted, with many of the UK's ISPs, government agencies, broadcasters and rights holders joining forces to disrupt the streams being pushed out across the internet. The European Court of Justice has just ruled that streaming copyrighted material for free on multimedia players such as Kodi is illegal. Last week's landmark EU verdict means pirate streams are now on the same legal footing as illegal downloads. And that's not all Kodi users should be concerned about, as there's also the problem of control over the content being beamed into living rooms. There are more of these boxes out there, and they plug straight into the television set. You don't have the same sorts of controls and protections that you will see through traditional television, which is highly regulated, Mr. Sharp warned. Hold on there, you can get protections to lock and password adult content. Furthermore, if you're accessing content on platforms such as Sky, you clearly know when you're in a kids section or adult section. On these illegal streams, you're seeing adult content right next to kids content. It's very dangerous at a time when the government has launched its internet safety strategy. The more flexibility the government has to move away from EU rules, the more they will clamp down on this type of activity. I can see quite an escalation in a response from government that's going to complement the measures that a lot of people across the industry industry are doing. There's a lot happening and the landscape will look quite a bit different over the next 12 months. Kodi is clearly causing concern, and to show how seriously the threat is being taken, a number of arrests have already been made, with one man accused of selling fully loaded boxes being fined a massive £250,000. Malcolm Mays, from Hartlepool, sold IPTV boxes, sometimes referred to as Kodi boxes or Android boxes, which had been modified to allow the users to freely view content that should otherwise be paid for. Following his guilty plea, Mr. Mays was sentenced to 10 months in prison, suspended for 1 year, and ordered to pay costs of £170,000. A Proceeds of Crime Act order was also made against him for a further £80,000. Speaking about the arrests and ongoing crackdown, Mr. Sharp added, "Fact are working together with the Premier League and the broadcasters, Sky, BT Sport and Virgin Media, as well as a number of film distributors, to clamp down on the use of illegal IPTV boxes." In the past 4 months, a number of raids across the UK have been carried out, resulting in multiple arrests involving the unlawful sale of set-top boxes fully loaded with copyright-infringing apps.
Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and leave comments below. Thank you.